It's me, Mario.
Hello, welcome to SMOKO with Maurieos. Episode 6, I think. I'm not sure. Have to check the front of the video. I should have checked that beforehand. I'm going note-free today. I've got no notes, nothing. So we're just going to see how it goes, which just that's the way that SMOKOs usually go. Nobody goes in there with a set agenda as such, and it just rambles on for the half hour as we think about all sorts of things, and what happened. So no structure, really. I think that's one of the key things about SMOKO, really, is that there's no structure. You don't know what you're going to talk about. I mean, you might individually come in there with some sort of agenda or something, but anyway. Today's SMOKO is the first appearance of the YouTubing from far north Queensland Moz 42 limited edition cup. I've just finished watching Moz's latest video on YouTube, where he went out to Rocky Creek War Memorial, and he had himself a smoko out there, homemade smoko that he'd made himself. A bit of a wizard in the kitchen, I think. So that's and this week I received one of these mugs in the mail, the limited edition mug. And so, yes, it appears, as seen on TV, as they say, as seen on TV, from Moz 42 there in far north Queensland, just out of Atherton, I think the Rocky Creek War Memorial Park was. And it gave me an idea that, perhaps I should go out on location with my smoko and, do a bit of filming, film a smoko out on location somewhere at some of the places that I go, and that might be quite interesting, just from, a point of view of the public and what have you being around. But anyway, I've got to be a bit careful I don't drink the tea down too much, because we've got another Moz-inspired treat here today, which is the Arnott's Tim Tam. So you'll notice that they're not. I don't think I've got. Have I got my glasses? Yeah, I've got glasses here with me. So these are the Arnott's Tim Tam. I was going to check as to. I don't think these are New Zealand made. I think the Arnott's is the, the Arnott's is a Arnott's Biscuit Limited, 24 George Street, North Strathfield, New South Wales. So these are an Aussie biscuit, the Tim Tam. Funnily enough, the number of guys whose name is Tim that get called Tim Tam, sometimes behind their back, not always are they stabbed from the front. But yes, so this is the Australian, the Tim Tam. They're not a New Zealand biscuit, made by Arnott's, which they're available here in New Zealand. And these are the original. These are the original ones. So there's a lot of other flavours now. The original, made with irresistible real chocolate, and there's 11 biscuits in the packet. 11 biscuits in the packet. One biscuit short of the dozen. 11 biscuits in the packet here, and made, as I say. I don't know where these ones were made. Does it say? They might well have been made in New Zealand. There is no substitute. Oh no, made in Australia. So there we go. These are the genuine article. And so I'm just going to get my little opening knife that I've got here. I think I need a new blade for them. And there they are. I don't know whether I'm going to eat all of these for the smoko, as it might play a little bit of havoc with my digestive system. But there they are there. As you can see, chocolate covered. Now, what we're going to attempt here is the Tam Slam. The Tam Slam, which is an Australian thing. I think I first saw it, Kylie Minogue, demonstrated it on a TV show, whether it was Graham Norton or Michael Parkinson. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to take my glasses off for this because it could get a bit messy here. So what you do is you bite one corner off here. I might have gone a bit much on that one, but anyway. And the other corner of here. And then you used the Tim Tam as a straw to suck the tea through the Tim Tam. And then that makes it all go lovely and soggy and melts the chocolate. And then it melts in your mouth. That's the Tam Slam. Yes. I don't know what the record is for how many of those you can do. But obviously you need your tea up to the top. So I'll probably get to do one more slam, but then I might eat the odd Tim Tam along the way, as the depth of the tea sort of precludes, reaching it with the... Let's try and bite a little smaller bit off. There we go. Now I've got to get quite close on this. And then you get it in there, and then it just collapses in your mouth. Chocolate everywhere, all over the cup. Moz's limited edition cup there. And yeah, so there you go, Moz. That's the Tim Tam Slam. My tea is now, beyond the slamming sort of depth that one can have. So yeah, I mean, that's something one could possibly take out on the road. That would be an interesting sort of little experience to have, is the Tim Tam Slam. So I'm just gonna maybe have a naked Tim Tam, so to speak, now. As I say, my tea is of a depth that I can't suck it through a straw for too much more without losing it. But the whole Tim Tam just collapses, and then you bring it into your mouth, and woof. It's just this, I don't know how to describe it. So, with all the breaks and festivities and things, Easter, Anzac Day, and what have you, this last week's been my first full week, of there, and it's what a cracking week it's been. The weather's been exemplary. I think one of those could be right. I've been able to get out every day with every group of my students mostly with the GPS. We did have a couple of, one group on the Monday, which is the group that gets hit the most by the bank holiday and Mondayising and so on. So they're going to do their first GPS exercise on Monday, tomorrow, provided the weather's good, which it's not looking that happy at the moment. It's at this stage, it's just after 5 o'clock on my deck, and it's a bit of a grey day, fully overcast sky. You can see probably, and it's been like that all day. I was up at the hospital this morning for the second leg of my infusion. We're on about the third level, and looking out the window, the fog hadn't lifted, and around about 10 or 11 the fog hadn't lifted, and then I sleep most of my time there, and I don't sleep by the window. So when I came to leave, it was actually drizzling down there as I walked to my car. So yeah, been a pretty grey day today. Unable to really get outside and do anything, mostly inside, but yeah, pretty good. So but the first 4 days were, yeah, bloody marvellous, to be honest. Great weather, beautiful weather. So sort of perfect weather for surveying. It was not too bright and sunny, and yeah, just not too hot either, and not too cold. So yeah, very good. So we did a fairly typical GPS setup. Set up over in Noah Mark and with the base station, and then rove around. It's a little bit, I don't know whether it's productive or counterproductive or not, but my students slave away in groups and collect a whole lot of data and information, and then we can go out with the GPS and pretty much collect the same amount of information in an hour at the end of the course. And so they do sort of ask the question, but I think they they understand why we do that. Well, I hope most of them do anyway. So it's certainly a great bit of kit. In my considered opinion, I reckon it's taken all the fun out of surveying. When I first started surveying, you were judged on your ability to bounce a plumb bob on a tack and a peg. You always had the plumb bob with you and how steady you could hold it and that. And now, half of I can't even find my plumb bob half the time. I certainly don't carry it around with me. So how things have changed. We used to use a long steel band of 200 metre, maybe 100 and 200 metre long steel band, held in suspension or catenary as we call it, calculating the expansion due to heat and the sag and things like that, which meant that we had to cut lines. We had to have line of sight, but we had to also have a line where we could swing the chain, get it going freely. So this involved copious amounts of cutting lines through gorse and all sorts of things to establish our traverses and our survey control, and that was, you know, you could spend a whole day just cutting lines. Always gorse has a very interesting growing habit, in that it grows best, or to me it seems to grow best in the wet valleys, and least as good on the height. So you can go and have a look at a level area of gorse, and you start cutting from the high point where the gorse might be, you know, shoulder level, and end up with in a cutting where it's 2 times your height of gorse. And on a hot day and things, the gorse seems to hold the heat. It's very dry and hot in there, and dusty, and that sort of thing. So it can be quite a mission. There's a few chainmen that are rumoured to have carried a box of matches with them, and sort of get rid of the gorse in advance of the next couple of days cutting, which it does sort of clear the area, so to speak, but it then means that you get covered in black soot and charcoal and things like that, which is, I don't know which is worse. I love the gorse. In the sense that it's a very, it's a prickle that it goes into you, and then it festers up and pops out very easily, unlike some of the other, you know, Matagauri and Barberry and stuff like that, which are quite poisonous and toxic, and you know, stay with you for quite a while. But the old gorse is, you know, it comes and goes, pretty forgiving sort of stuff, really, and can be quite interesting. We used to get one of the more interesting ones that we had in Wellington was looking into Cook Strait, known for its wind. That there was gorse there on the seaward facing southern slopes. It was only about this high, and it came in little sort of rivulets, I guess you called, as where the wind come, the salt laden wind would just kill the top off it, so it would only grow to a very limited height. You could actually walk on top of it, which was saved a bit of cutting and things. But so yeah, all that's gone, and the, you know, swinging the chain across a road and getting it caught up in cars and things like that is all gone by the board. And then the you know, we didn't have the calculators, so it was out with the 7-figure log book. Or the oddner, spinning the oddmer out in the field or something like that. So, you know, it took, well, days longer, but it was good, solid fun out there, beavering away to try and get things done, cut some lines and see some things and swing the chain, pull it up. Yeah, real, yeah. Tight, real sort of physical work, whereas nowadays you're in with the old GPS. Maybe you probably have a weed eater or scrub cutter, and you can sort of, you know, just cut your way into a little spot that you need, and away you go. Pretty simple. I definitely don't think you need as much skill as in the old days, for sure. You know, you can pretty much, you know, train someone up on the GPS. Well, I reckon some of my students there, I've shown them what to do. I reckon they'd be up to speed, you know, in a couple of months easily. You know, doing a pretty good job and working it out. So simplified and sped things up, way more efficient. But can go seriously wrong very quickly. The art of surveying is in some ways, the management of the error and minimizing error, it's so much easier. If you do everything right, it's easy. It all works out. It's easy. It's great. The moment you make one small error, it can take you half a day just to find it and correct it. It's very much like knitting, you know, like dropping a stitch and knitting. You've got to unravel everything, go all the way back, and then come forward again. So, but lots of smoko stories and things like that. So yeah, a really good day out in the field, or a really good week out in the field with my students. Easily getting my 5,000 steps a day. I think I might well have averaged 6,000 steps this week. Although I did have one. Did I have a light day? No, I don't think I did. I might have had. Well, I think I was pretty good for most of them. So yeah, very pleasing. So yeah, good week in that respect. Although still a lot of marking and stuff to get done, and a few little bits and bobs to tidy up. And then we've got Engineering in Action Day. Week after next, I guess. So be working away on that and getting that all sorted out. So yeah, that's been my week, and my stories there about chaining and that sort of thing. In the good old days, we used to have quite a lot of time away as well when I first started in Wellington. Well, after I'd been to university at Otago and came back as a graduate, I guess, a graduate surveyor. The Wellington Land District, or out of the Wellington office, covers everywhere from Wellington north up to almost up to Taupo, certainly up to Turangi and Paeatua and so on the east coast. And but there was an office in Palmerston North, which was a sub-office of the Wellington office. Not one on its own. So there was a Palmerston North office. So they covered pretty much a lot of the east coast, up towards the next office up was New Plymouth or Taranaki, Hamilton. Hamilton office covered, well, it was the South Auckland Land District. That covered across to the Bay of Plenty in those areas as well. So yeah, so we would travel some of our jobs. Most of the areas that I travelled mostly over in the Wairarapa area, up around Masterton, Carterton, in that area, and then did a little bit up, actually just north of in the Turakina. In the forest there, and one just out of Palmerston North, actually, on the farm block, because the Lands and Survey Department used to own quite a few farm blocks, now owned by, what are they called? Landcorp, I think. Landcorp now own them, but the Lands and Survey used to administer them. And so we used to go out and do surveys of the farm blocks. If they'd done any new fencing or anything like that, we would have to locate that or maintain the plan. They all had plans. So the idea with these blocks is that they would all be developed. They would have farm managers in there, and they would develop them. So they might have one big block, and then they might sort of cut it up into 3 or 4 farms, and individual standalone farms, and then they'd actually ballot the farms off. So you could go into a ballot to get a farm, and then if you won the ballot, you got the farm. And they would, get them all operating efficiently. They'd maybe do a bit of development, maybe cut a bit of bush, fence and subdivide paddocks and things like that. And so they obviously needed plans for that as part of their management systems, and that sort of thing. So we would go up and draw maps of the farms blocks, mostly using chain and compass, as it would turn out. We didn't usually use any sophisticated equipment, just chain and compass and that sort of thing, and get them all to fit together, just so that they were roughly about right. And that was there. And then when it did come to subdividing the farm blocks, we would do the subdivisions, go out and do the survey and mark out all of the, make the boundaries run along the fences that were proposed to be the boundaries most of the time. There's a few stories of guys running boundaries through sheds and things like that, but generally we pretty much got it right. And then they would, obviously, title would issue, and everyone would be very happy with the whole situation. So yeah, that was my early days. So yeah, so this is, I've got 3 minutes left. I usually go for about half an hour, so we're trying to make the show half an hour long. So it's coming to the end. So certainly I really appreciate Moz sending my cup. He said it was his way of joining me for SMOKO, because I was certainly looking for visitors, or people to come. I'm wondering whether I can maybe go sort of do some sort of live thing or something like that with an interview or something like that I conclude. But ideally, I'd like to, have someone come along for SMOKO for a bit of a chat, and we'll just record it and retell some old stories. I'm sure I've got some friends left in the business who would be happy to come along and tell a few stories and recount a few tall tales and true from the legendary past. I've got a bit of a store of ones there, but as I said today, in the past I've made a few notes, but I just got to let it free flow as it comes. Like stream of mind is certainly the goal here. So if you're thinking you'd like to join me, or you'd like me to join you, I mean, I can come out on the road and come and, get a suitable spot and find you. I mean, I'm sort of, I suppose, given the time, what certain times of the year I might be available to just do a little bit of travel, or have a little bit of a chat, or a bit of to and fro. Tell a few lies, a bit of banter and that sort of thing. I'm sure that wouldn't go astray. So yeah, don't be shy. Ask me, and we'll see what we can do. Really, as I say, really appreciate Moz and his idea. I mean, obviously, Far North Queensland is a fair way away from here, and the chances of us catching up for SMOKO are slim. But he's given me or suggested I go down the Tam route there, and I certainly hope that I've done the Tam Slam justice there. I'm a bit concerned that I might have been biting off a little bit too much off the corners, a little bit more than I could chew, but hey, such is life. We can't always get things right. So the producer, me, is saying, you know, wind it up, wind it up. We're coming up to 30 minutes. So thanks everybody for, well, if you've lasted this long, for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing. I sort of appreciate your support, and I look forward to trying to bring content to you that will bring a smile to your face whenever I can. You're all, you know, bloody marvellous. So cheers. See you.
It's-a me, Mario.